Stewart, the club yesterday announced the exciting news that Pedro Caixinha will be the club's 16th manager. Why did you feel he is the right man to take the club forward?
He stood out at the interview. He had a lot of his characteristics, clearly a strong character. I think he had quite wide experience. I know he's maybe not well known in the UK. However, there's a lot of his qualities that stood out in the interviews. I think someone who can go to Mexico and do what he did and be successful, and move your family there and actually make a life for yourself out there as well and adapt to a different culture. It told us a lot about the strength of character of Pedro. He talked a lot about understanding the intensity of Rangers, which is one of the key things we need to look for in a manager, and also what winning means to this club. The club's all about winning, and we know we're on the road back to that, but hopefully Pedro will help us get there.
During that interview process, what were the key attributes you were looking for, and what made them really stand out in Pedro?
I think it's strength of character. That for me is a key thing that you need to be the manager of Rangers. We've seen that in our great managers of the past, whether it be Walter Smith, Jock Wallace, Graham Souness. They've all had a strong character, and you need that to make your mark at a club like Rangers. And that was probably the biggest thing that we were looking for.
Pedro has worked in Greece, Romania, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, Qatar, and of course Portugal as well. So he's a manager who already has a vast amount of experience from different footballing cultures.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, that was one of the attractions of it. We hadn't gone out looking for a foreign manager. We thought, let's look for the best candidate we can find. And through the course of that process, Pedro stood out. There's no doubt that having experienced different cultures, different environments, that helps to make a more rounded person. And in my experience of dealing with people in different walks of life who've had that experience, you tend to find that character. There's something about those people that if they want to get on and they want to be successful, you have to adapt, and you have to really have something about you to do that, and that's what came through when we met him.
You mentioned that the club or the board didn't necessarily want just a foreign manager, but was there any particular reason why you felt that Pedro was the ideal candidate on this occasion?
I think just the qualities that I've mentioned already. He stood out, he presented well, his English is excellent, which is a fundamental of being here. You have to get your message across to the players, and also dealing with the media. We've done a lot of background checking, and he's dealt well with the media where he's been previously. But you need strong English to give yourself the best possible opportunity if you're coming from overseas. And we felt that just looking at everything around, he brought what we were looking for in a new manager of Rangers.
We've mentioned some of the countries that Pedro has worked in already. How beneficial do you hope this will be when it comes to recruitment in the future?
In terms of the players? In
terms of the contacts he may have.
Yeah, no, I think there's certainly, that'll bring a fresh outlook to how we look at recruitment, where we need to strengthen the recruitment and the scouting department anyway. I've been saying that recently, and that, Pedro can have an input into that. However, we need to strengthen that side of the football club as a matter of course, and that's something that we'll be looking to do once we can get Pedro bedded in and really move forward with the other hires that we're looking to do.
What kind of impact are you hoping that Pedro can have on the current squad initially?
I think hopefully we'll see a bounce. You quite often get a bounce when you manager. However, I think that fresh ideas, sometimes just a new voice is coming. It's been interesting seeing the way the players have responded to Graham Murty, for example, and that I think they've responded very positively. So hopefully we can take that forward and take it to the next level again. And with a permanent manager coming in, I'd hope the players will react very positively to his methods and his training techniques.
How quickly are you hoping to announce who the club's new assistant manager will be, and will there be any further changes, of course, to the backroom staff as well?
Well, the backroom team, that should be over the next day or so. We'll be able to make those announcements, and it'll all fall into place from there. And then we've obviously the match today, so players get a day off tomorrow. Give Pedro a day to find his feet, and then he'll come in on Tuesday, and we'll hit the ground running on Tuesday. Have
you got any update with regards to the director of football position?
Yeah, we've obviously focused on getting Pedro in place, Pedro and his team in place. We'll let him get in a couple of days, draw breath, and then we'll start to focus on that again. But we're absolutely set on the structure that we're looking for here. We know what we need to do. We know we need to enhance the recruitment and scouting side of the club. It's one of the ways, it's a key way we need to get the club back to where it should be, and that process will get started very quickly once Pedro's settled in.
And just finally, what would you like to say to caretaker manager Graham Murty, who's done a terrific job over the last few weeks?
Graham's been fantastic. I can't speak highly enough of the job that Graham Murty has done, and the guys who've supported him. I think Graham has got a real positive reaction from the players. I think we can see that this afternoon in today's match at Celtic. And just a huge thank you for Graham. I hope he's got something from it as well, and I hope he takes something positive from it. But he's been doing a great job with the 20s and the boys there, and I know they'll be delighted to see him back, because I know they've missed him. But no, a massive thank you to Graham Murty for the job that he's done.